Hey everyone, it's Matt, and today I will be showing you my new keyboard. And not only is it my new keyboard, it is actually the very first custom keyboard that I've ever built. Some of you may remember earlier this year I did a video on the Ducky 1-2 Mini mechanical keyboard, and in that video I think I said something to the effect of me kind of falling down the rabbit hole of mechanical keyboards and learning about all the different options and types of keyboards and keyboard switches and all that out there. And back then I was just kind of scratching the surface, but since then I have gotten a little more involved in the world of mechanical keyboards, and in the same time frame, unfortunately, my Ducky 1-2 Mini began double typing several of the keys. I tried a firmware update and some other stuff and nothing seemed to fix it, so I decided that it was time to get yet another keyboard. And this time, as I was a bit further down the rabbit hole, I decided to build my own. And so, if you're not familiar with the world of custom keyboards, there is quite a bit to learn, and many different terms and phrases and concepts and all that might be a bit alien to you if you're a typical viewer of my channel. So I'm not going to get too in-depth on the technical details here, but I will simply be talking a little bit about the parts that made this keyboard and so on, and then spend the rest of the video typing on it. And in my opinion, it sounds and feels very, very nice to type on. Definitely the best keyboard I've ever had. Well, not sure I can say that after having had this completed for only a few hours, but I think it's pretty great. Anyway, let's get into some of the details about what makes up my first custom mechanical keyboard. So, the bulk of this keyboard, well, maybe not the bulk, but kind of the foundation of this keyboard is called the Novelkeys NK65 Entry Edition, which is a kit that includes a case. I believe it's polycarbonate, though feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. A polycarbonate case here, a PCB, the NK65 PCB that Novelkeys uses in some of their keyboards, and a plate, which I do not remember off the top of my head the material of, but that's not really the focus of this video, so that's okay. And the case on this NK65 is in a colorway known as Blumen. It's kind of this semi-translucent turquoise or dark turquoise color, as you can see here. And part of why Lumen is in the name of it, not just blue, it's Blumen, is the fact that it actually glows in the dark. Unfortunately, the effect is subtle enough and dim enough that it doesn't really show up on camera here, so I can't really show you, but that is the case. The PCB, or if you're not familiar with that, the kind of the electronic plate where all the keyboard switches attached to and interface with the USB port and all that. And then after that we have the switches, which are the mechanical bits under the keycaps here. And the switches I have in this keyboard are the Gateron, not sure how to pronounce it really, ink black switches. And they are a linear switch, meaning that they're very smooth all the way down. There's not really a click or a tactile bump or anything like that. It's just the only feeling you have is at the bottom of the keystroke. otherwise it's smooth like butter. And I have taken all of the switches, all of the Gateron black ink switches here, and I have lubed and filmed them. If you're not familiar with mechanical keyboard terms, basically, lubing and filming is when you take apart the switches and you use a sort of lubricant. In this case, it's called Krytox 205 grade 0 lubricant, to kind of lubricate the moving parts inside the switch to make it smoother and sound nicer as well. And filming is where you take a very thin, I'm not actually sure of the material, and you basically sandwich it between the two halves of the switch in order to reduce any wobble or rattle in between the two halves, because they are separate pieces. As with pretty much all the terms in this video, they can be better explained and demonstrated by someone who is more of a dedicated keyboard channel, so go search for mechanical keyboard channels if you're interested in the nitty-gritty of that kind of stuff. But anyway, we have the lubed and filmed Gateron ink blacks, and on top of those, as you can see here, are a keycap set by EnjoyPBT. I believe the name is just EnjoyPBT Sushi. As you can see here, they have little sushi images on some of the keycaps and some Japanese lettering here, hiragana. But personally, I don't really have any sort of affinity for Japanese keycaps, as there is a bit of a trend with those in the mechanical keyboard community. I really just like the colors and how they match the keyboard. We have the blue here matching the case, and then for some contrast, a bit of pink here. So I thought those looked really nice. And EnjoyPBT, as far as I can tell, makes very high quality PBT keycaps. I will note though that the spacebar here, as you can see, is a little bit warped, but that is apparently a sort of a known thing among PBT keycaps. They are prone to warping, the longer kind. And I guess the only other thing I have to mention here before I start typing is that the stabilizers in here are the stock stabilizers, plate mounted, that come with the NK65 entry edition. And so I've not done anything particularly fancy with them. I've not taken them apart and lubed them or done any of the modding that some people do. I may choose to do that at a later point, but I decided not to for now, so you will notice there's a bit of a rattle with the spacebar and the enter key and so on, but compared to my other keyboards, it is fairly minor, as I believe the NK65 stock stabilizers are, at least from the factory, somewhat lubed, if not set up ideally. But anyway, I do apologize if I've butchered any of the mechanical keyboard terms and descriptions here, as I am admittedly still learning, but that's kind of besides the point, because the point of this video is, of course, the keyboard itself, and that is what is going to take up the rest of this video. So I hope you enjoy the typing sounds on my custom NK65 entry edition.